Hey, what up, y'all? Mr. Cruz here, the latest teacher you never had, back with another video. Today, I'm actually working on a MIDI slash loop pack for all of you producers out there. Just a bunch of loops and melodies that I've created over the past couple months that I'm just kind of throwing all together and giving it to you guys in a pack. Oh, shoot. But what I wanted to show you guys is how I'm going about changing those loops into or like the loops that I've got from the beats that I've made and turning them into MIDI packs, and kind of the proper way to do it, so that way you're not screwing over the producer that you end up sending it to, or they're gonna have to hit you back up and say like, hey man, can you fix this for me or something. So here's what you guys are gonna be watching me pretty much doing it right here, right now. All right, so for starters, I've got my loop. I deleted all the drums. All I have here are my loops. Now you will see that for these, I used my my players to be able to hit the chords, because I'm not really good at chords. So first thing that I want to do is, as I'm doing this, well, here's where we're going to start at actually. I am going to select all of these, and then I'm going to go to bounce mixer channel. So with bounce mixer channel, that's going to bounce all of those tracks separately as individual tracks. The other thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that everything is panned right down the middle, that I'm not peaking. So I'm going to hit play, make sure that I'm not peaking. So I'm kind of around 10 dB or negative 10 dB, which is good. I could probably go a little bit higher, but that's all right. And the other thing is that I want to make sure that I leave a tail at the end. So you'll see that here's where my loop ends. So my loop is only a 4-measure loop, but I'm exporting, what is this, 6 or 7? Yeah, I'm exporting seven bars, because I want to be able to have that fade out in case they want to be able to have that fade out in their project or in their beat whenever they use it. So you'll listen here. So it's a natural fade out, so that way it'll help whoever's the producer using it to have that option. You know, more than likely they're going to cut it off and they're going to just use that 4-measure loop over and over again. But just to be courteous, this is just something that I do. Okay, bam, highlight all those. If you notice, when you highlight all of the tracks, that when you have certain mixer channels highlighted, when you go to bounce mixer channel, it will automatically have those already selected. So with this, this is one of the few instances where I do want to have all the channel settings applied, because I want them to have the reverb or the delay or the distortion or whatever it is that I use. I'm gonna change this to wave, and this time I'm only gonna select loop marker. So it's only gonna export loop, and I'm not gonna normalize it. We don't necessarily need to normalize it. We could if we wanted to, but if somebody else opens it up in their DAW, they're more than likely gonna be doing that. I'm gonna go to my here, and oh no, we're gonna hit it to audio, choose, and bam, it should only take a couple seconds. And the other thing is, one of the things that I do that I kind of find super helpful is, you'll see the title of my track or my project. It has not only the title of the track, but it also has the key or the scale that it's in and the BPM. That's always useful too, because sometimes it's just, I don't know, you should be able to have the skill to be able to figure out what key a song is in, but it's sometimes tedious. All right, so we knocked out the loops, the audio. Now we're going to move on to the MIDI. And as I said, with the MIDI, I have them set to players. Now, I don't want to export it as just this one single note, because that's going to mess up whoever brings it in. Like, they're just going to have one note playing over and over again. I want to be able to give them the chords. So I'm going to, through all of these individually, I'm going to go and I'm going to select in my players. I'm going to hit send to track, and then it'll make an alternate track. And I believe it mutes the previous one, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to create an alternate track with the chords actually being played. Like, it'll show the MIDI of the chords that were hit when we were using players. That'll probably take a couple seconds. And actually, this is probably where I could move my loop marker over to the left, because when you hit send to track from players, it'll fill whatever void you have between the loop markers. So I'm going to move this over here and then cut that and then delete this lane. So I'm going to do that same thing for anything else that I have and whereby I used players. So I'm going to kind of go through this process with all of those instruments, and then we'll get back.
One eternity later.
Okay, so we're back. I did exactly what I said I was going to do, and I went through and exported, or I sent the chords to the tracks on all of these instruments here. So now what we're going to do is you'll notice this time that I've got my loop, my left and right loop locator, all the way tucked right next to my region. I want to do that this time because I don't want to have any excess to kind of trip the other person up, because when they get their region, if I get something that looks like this, I'm going to ultimately assume that, okay, I need to drag it over here, but like, wait, how does this end on halfway between, loop 22? Like, that doesn't make any sense. It should be kind of, you know what I mean? Like it's usually in, what is it? I'm a math teacher and I can't think of the word. It's usually dividends of 4, right? We usually make melodies and loops in 4, 8, 16s and whatnot. All right. So what I'm gonna have to do here, and this is kind of the tedious part, which I kind of hate. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna highlight all of these. Actually, I'm not gonna highlight them. I'm gonna delete them all. Delete all in group. And I gotta export these one by one. So we're gonna go export MIDI file. This is going to be synth chord. So I'm going to save it right there. This is kind of one that I had messed up earlier. And replace. And now I'm done. So to double check, I'm going to re-import that one just to make sure that I did it correctly. So I should be able to, boom, and it looks like it works. So if I drag this down here, I should hear the same thing. Start this over. Does that sound like what I had earlier? It does. All right, so we're Gucci. So I'm literally going to do that with every single track that I have created. So undo a whole bunch of times. And then this time I'm going to delete this one up here. And then on to the next one. Delete all in group. And once again, export MIDI. And this one is going to be synth stab. Oh, stop tweaking. Synth stab. So as you can kind of see the process, I'm going to do this over and over again until I have all those MIDI files. And the beauty of that is, as you can kind of see earlier, like when I drag that one synth chord in, it's only going to have those synth chords. So it's going to make it easier for the person dragging those MIDI files into their project to, quickly identify and select like what type of instrument should go with which MIDI track. But anyways, that's what I got for you guys today. It's your boy Mr. Cruz. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on social media, and if you are interested in getting this MIDI pack, I'm going to be having it up available soon, so just make sure you're keeping an eye out for that. And the best way is to follow me on social media, so go ahead and check in the description below for all my socials to make sure that you're following me, so when I drop this MIDI pack you can get you some. All right, it's your boy Mr. Cruz out.